let me record. Okay.
Perfect. Because the thing is, this is going to help you. If any of y'all that write gardening books, I will put this on all of our social media. We got 4 million viewers just on our YouTube channel. So this will help y'all as well.
Maybe we should go around and introduce ourselves. Like, this is really our first official meeting since the formation meeting.
Okay. Should we give it a couple more minutes since people are still coming on?
Yeah, I still see.
Okay.
Maybe give it another minute and then start the round of like quick introductions, not like, your life story.
Getting on
The elevator version.
Getting on.
Hey, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne. How are you?
Getting on is a little funky, so some people may be taking a little longer.
Yes.
When you click on the last
the
URL,
link, yeah, you had to hit the redirect button.
Yeah, it might take people a few minutes.
Yeah.
I think it's good though.
Nice bookshelf, Carrie.
I didn't know where it was.
Good bookshelf.
Oh, wow.
I find a better picture of this plant.
What is that? I should recognize it.
What you mean? What I'm holding?
Yes, it's small.
It's a fern in a kokedama ball.
Ah, okay.
So I'm kind of holding. It's like foreshortened because I'm holding it up to the camera, so it's a little, it's not that big. But it's pretty big. It's big. It's softball size. So I've led several kokedama making workshops. So that was just the one that Zoom grabbed one day to be associated with my profile. I haven't changed it.
It's cute.
But I figure it's a plant one, so that will work for now.
Yep. Okay, so should we go ahead and start then?
Yeah, I think everybody's had a chance to come in.
Okay. Yvonne, I'm going to start with you since you're our guest today.
Okay. My name is Yvonne Mason. I have been in the book industry for over 20 years. I am an author, a photographer, an artist. I now own my own publishing house, for which Sheri is one of our family, and I'm so proud that she's there. And we just publish everything except erotica. Will not touch erotica.
Okay, Dwayne.
Okay, I'm a blogger and an author and a speaker. I'm on adaptive gardening. I wrote and self-published 2 books, Geriatric Gardener, Adaptive Gardening Advice for Seniors, and a real creative second book, the Geriatric Gardener 2.0, more adaptive gardening advice for seniors. And my blog is the geriatricgardener.wordpress.com. And then I speak either virtually or in person to people, to garden clubs and libraries and senior groups around my area live. And I've done virtual presentations to several garden clubs in Canada and at the International Master Gardeners Conference last August. And I was in the PR and advertising business for 50 some years. And then I turned my business over to my son.
Carrie?
I just got my book, my advanced copy last week. So I'm so excited and I'm really happy with it. They did a beautiful job printing, and I was so worried. I'm the photographer and the writer, and I was so worried about the colors all coming out right. And this is my fifth book I've shot, but it's the first book I've written and shot, though I've written for many, many magazines. And I had a website on container gardening for about.com for about 8 years. And that taught me how to garden. And I live in Maine. And, I just really am at sea in terms of getting this book out into the world, and am just desperate for any advice people might have.
Kathy?
I thought I was gonna be last. Okay. I'm Kathy Jentz. I have 2 books out. One is, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but Ground Cover Revolution, all about replacing your turf grass lawn with better plants. And then The Urban Garden, 101 Ways to Grow Food and Beauty in the City, that I co-wrote with fellow GardenComm member Terry Spate, and that's all in small space gardening solutions. And I'm based here right outside of Washington, D.C. And I have a podcast called Garden DC, which Sheri Ann was on not too long ago, talking all about the chocolate growing. And then I have a monthly magazine called Washington Gardener Magazine. Again, DC, Washington, not the other Washington.
Christy?
Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Wilhelmy. I have a gardening business in Los Angeles, California, and I have a website with a blog and YouTube channel, social media. I had a podcast for 17 years, and I've written, it's hard to count because it's like 5, but maybe 6, depending on how many iterations of the one book that's been reissued a number of times. My latest one, well, the latest gardening book is High Yield Small Space Organic Gardening, but right now I'm working on the sequel to Garden Variety, my debut novel, and that is coming out in April, and I'm running a Kickstarter to raise the funds so that I can publish it without going into tremendous debt.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
We're going to talk.
Judy?
I am an author and freelance writer. I've written one nonfiction book on gardening with native plants, and I would love to write another one, but I've had difficulties finding a publisher, although recently I've had more interest from agents, but not enough. So I write about climate change, which is not a happy subject. And so it's kind of hard, but I have found some wonderful books, like upbeat, positive books about gardening and climate change. And so I'm trying to use some of them now. So I'm here because I will need to market my next book and maybe remarket my first book. So I'm interested in what we can learn.
Peggy?
I'm Peggy Reach. I'm a horticulturist in Northern Virginia, and I have a website called Peg Plant, which is an online resource for gardeners in the Washington, D.C. metro area. And I'm writing a book about unusual culinary herbs that we can grow and use in the kitchen.
Ooh, cool.
Yes. Arlene?
I'm in South Carolina, and my book, Growing Up Gardening, came out last year at the end of the year, and I did do all the photography for it, and it was self-published. I have the South Carolina Garden-Based Learning Network is my consulting firm. I'm a professor of education, so I work with a lot of schools and starting gardens with K through 12, even at universities. I have a Facebook page. I had a website. I don't have one now, but I use my Facebook page, but I also would like to know other ways that I can reach out to an audience with my book. It's really tailored to parents and teachers, homeschool programs, environmental educators, nature educators.
Okay, I will go ahead and go. I'm Sheri Ann Richerson, as most of you know. My latest gardening book is The Chocolate Lover's Garden, which you can also see on the shelf behind me. Yvonne is my publisher of this book. I have, gosh, written probably 40 plus books over the years. And I am really excited to introduce my publisher, Yvonne Mason, who is going to talk to all of you a little bit about social media marketing and also her publishing company, Midnight Publishing. So go ahead, Yvonne.
First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the privilege of being invited here tonight. I know that gardening and self-sustaining is very close to Sheri's heart. And I was telling her before we went live, my grandmother taught me how to garden when I was a little bitty girl, how to survive the cold winters, what was needed to survive. So I taught my children. So gardening and homesteading is not new to me. I started Midnight Publishing because my publisher died. I've been in the publishing industry for over 20 years. Was one of the first ones to break the glass ceiling of the, and I quote, self-published authors aren't good enough. Well, a handful of us went together and there were no resources. There was no social media. There were no websites. There was nothing. My first social media was MySpace. I published my very first book on Lulu. That's how far back I go. So 2 years ago, my publisher died. And the two friends that I had sent to her said, what are we going to do now? And I went, let me go home and pray about it and think about it and see what happens. So I'm sitting at home, minding my own business, having a conversation with God, which I do regularly. And this voice said, if not you, who? If not now, when? I went, there's nobody in this house but me. And so we started Midnight Publishing. Sheri approached me and said, I have a book that I've been trying for 25 years to get published. Nobody will touch it. I said, send it to me. She did. The Chocolate Lover's Garden. I'm so proud of Sheri because I've watched her bloom from that time. And what we do, and that's why I thank Christy, hold that thought. At Midnight Publishing, we do not charge our authors for formatting, editing, graphics, cover, PR, marketing, or publishing in all 4 formats. We don't charge. And Sheri will tell you that. There's no hook. All we ask is that you trust the process of what we do and allow us to do what I do best. And the way that you get your work out there, you have to remember something. Your book is not your brand. You are the brand. Your book is your byproduct. So you don't sell your book, you sell yourself. And the way you do that is you put yourself out there. You get on every social media out there you can find, Twitter, X, even TikTok, which is a pain in my neck, YouTube. Build a website. You can build a website on WordPress and it's click and play. It's not hard to build. Get Facebook page. Do lives on your Facebook page. If it's just 5 minutes a day, do a live every day and let people know you're out there. My father had his own heating and air conditioning business for over 60 years in the state of Georgia. When my father died, he was doing the heat and air for his original customers' grandchildren because he advertised with a handshake and a business card. So when you're out and about and the word gardening comes up, or the word, oh, I see you're looking, let's just say you're at Home Depot for whatever reason. Somebody's looking at a flower and they don't know what to do with it, but they want to grow something. Say, let me help you. Here's my card. Here's where you can find my book. Start the conversation, because what you're doing is you're showing people that you are the brand and you have something to offer. You have to stay committed. Writing your book is easy, ladies and gentlemen. That's the easiest thing you will ever do. But being committed to putting yourself out there and saying, I am the brand, this is what I do, and doing it on a regular basis, and understanding that, yeah, not every book is for everybody, but for everybody there is a book. And this is what I tell my authors. We don't look to sell 100 books this month or 100 books next month or 20 books this month. We sell one book at a time. That is success. The fact that you've written your books, that is success. So never think you are a failure, and don't ever think that you're not enough, because you are. Now, what I can do until you guys get up to speed, I can take our website and I can set up y'all as authors that we're marketing. Put your books up there. I will even do short videos. I do 7-second shorts. And I'm sure that Dwayne will tell you that in the marketing world, the attention span of a potential customer is about 7 seconds. Anything longer than that, and they're out of here. I will be willing to do 7-second shorts for you guys with your books. I will put them up on our YouTube channel, on our website, on my Facebook pages, and get y'all some traffic. All you have to do is send me the covers of your books, because I can go in and create this. And then if you're on Facebook, I will tag you on Facebook. I can also send you the download in an email. This is how we are successful. And the fact that everyone is enough, everyone is special, and everyone is everything. Any questions?
Yeah, how do you get compensated?
God takes care of me. God bless. God put me on this path. And so I leave it up to God to take care of me. I am an author too. My books sell just like everybody else's, but I absolutely refuse to charge for my authors. When you come into this family, you're part of the family no matter what we do for you. I have seen, and the business that I am in, Dwayne, I have seen too many authors be ripped off by scammers, by small press publishers and indie publishers that say, oh yeah, I'll publish you, but you got to buy X amount of books. Or I will publish you, but it's going to cost you $500 for your cover, $500 for me to format it, $750 for me to publish it just in paperback, another $300 to $400 if I put graphics in it. I'm not going to do that to my authors, because
Well,
yes, sir.
for about 10 years, we had a publishing division because a friend of mine who's an author was tired of getting ripped off. And he said, he was retired. He said, could I join you guys and run a publishing division for you? And we said, sure. So he did.
Well,
And
this is what I do. When I first I first published in 2006. That's how far back I go. But before I published, I spent 10 years of my life sending out query letters to agents and got enough rejection letters to wallpaper my entire house. I have seen new authors and even seasoned authors give up because they were nickel and dimed to death in the industry. The only thing that I want to leave behind, Dwayne, when I die is I made a difference in somebody's life. And I feel like that if God gave me the ability to do what I do, then I'm not going to charge my authors. That's not in my wheelhouse. I'm not in it for the money. I am in it so that they have a voice. And Sheri will tell you, I give every one of my authors, it's like they're the only author I have because they all get a voice. They all get promoted. They all get treated like they're the only one in the room. So, Christy, please don't do a jump start. Send your book to me. Let me do it for you.
Well, I've already got. I'm most of the way there. We're pretty ready to launch. So it's I haven't spent. I have a friend who designed the cover, and I've done the registration with the ISBN numbers and all of that stuff. And we're going with Ingram Spark to do the publishing. I have a business already, so it's Garden Nerd Press, and so we're on our way with that. And the interior layout's being done right now with my friend. So it's, I'm almost done.
Well, just know the door's always open.
Great, thank you.
And I don't buy ISBN numbers. I get my ISBN numbers off of Amazon because that's where I publish from.
Yeah, I did that for one book. I have a digital only book that I did through Amazon. But I wanted to own the ISBNs for this because it's going to be, all the different formats, and I'm going to record the audio and the audio book and all of that. So I wanted to have all of that together.
And I understand that, and I appreciate that. So, but just know that the doing the book itself is easy, but you've got to be committed to putting yourself out there, to going out and finding, okay, I can do a web page here. I can open up a Facebook page here. I can set up a YouTube channel. I can go to TikTok and set up a TikTok channel, because the more you're out there, the internet operates on algorithms, as does everything. Amazon operates on algorithms. And the more that you're out there, the more you go and pull your name up on the internet, the closer it gets up to the top. So if somebody puts in organic gardening, oh, Christy, let me go check her book out. I saw her speak. Let me go see what I can find out. So you want, and use taglines, use hashtags with everything that you do. That is very, very important. And you have to be as dedicated to your marketing as you are to your writing. And yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Get on your get on your local radio stations. Get on your local newspapers or magazines. Get interviews. Don't take no for an answer. Because
question, do you
yes,
have, it's all a little overwhelming. Do you have advice on sort of a hierarchy of what to do first and what is the sort of most bang for your time buck?
I do. What you do first is, because Facebook is such a social media page now, set up a Facebook page. That's the first thing that you do. You get followers, you get friends. You get your friends to get their friends to join your page. You put everything about your book on that page daily. Then you go and build a YouTube site. And the reason for that, because if you do a live on your Facebook page, you download that live, and then you take that download and you can upload it to your YouTube page. And over time, it will build. If you are video savvy, make a short video, put it up on the Facebook page, put it up on your YouTube page. Every time you put a post up, ask your friends to share it. That is the two main things at this point I would say do. And then as you're more comfortable, build you a website. Substack is wonderful. Sheri's on Substack, I'm on Substack, because it's like a blog, but it's also like a website. If you're not on Twitter, join Twitter, which is also X now. If you're not on Tumblr, join Tumblr. Because what happens with the YouTube site and with your Facebook page, you can put the links to these other pages on your Facebook page. You can also put the links on the YouTube page. And when you put something up on YouTube, it'll say, oh, do you want to link it to, let's just say Twitter? Oh, yeah. So you click on the Twitter icon and boom, it's up. You save it, it goes. It takes time to build it. And yes, it is overwhelming. My DMs are always open.
Hey, Peggy, I saw you raised your hand.
Oh, thanks. I did have a question. Well, two questions. One is I'm assuming that in order to propose a book idea to you, you want a query letter first, and
No,
then
ma'am.
how do you weed through your proposals? How do you determine whether or not you want to publish that book?
I don't need query letters. You just send me your manuscript.
Okay, then how do you decide whether or not you want to publish that book? What are your
The,
criteria?
my criteria is just have it in a New Times Roman and 12 font. I do not turn any author down unless it's erotica. That I don't turn authors down.
Okay.
Sheri will tell you if it's erotica, I send them someplace else because I can't read it and I'm not going to publish it. But I don't need a query letter. If you want your book published, you say, Yvonne, here's my book. Will you publish it? And that's a big fat yes.
Okay.
Because you have a voice and I want your voice heard. It's that simple. Just trust the process.
And
It doesn't get any, Sheri, does it get any simpler than that?
it does not. I sent Yvonne a lot of photos for my Chocolate Lovers book. I told her that we wanted a tabletop book. We were not able to get all of the full color photographs in the book because of what the cost would have been for the people buying it. But Yvonne did put quite a few photos in, and she did a fabulous job with the cover. I could not have imagined any other cover for this book. These are my photos that are on the cover, and it was so simple because I did not have to format this. I did not have to worry about artwork, nothing. I signed a contract with Yvonne. It is a 60-40 split with me getting the 60%. I do buy my own books as I want them. There's no minimum. I can buy one book. I could buy 100 books. And they are shipped right to my house. So that's the big difference between a huge publisher like Penguin, who will send you the books for free, versus going with somebody like Yvonne, where you buy your books at a discounted price. Penguin requires formatting. Yvonne did not. It was literally just putting it in Word and sending her the manuscript. I can tell you what I went through with the photos from Penguin was a pure nightmare. Yvonne made that really simple, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. I'm getting ready to send her another book as soon as I get it finished. And I am very happy. The social media promotion that she does and all the things. I'm going to be on her podcast next week talking about the Chocolate Lover's Garden. And it is just an entirely different experience than what I went through with Penguin. And I have also self-published myself on Amazon, and formatting was a nightmare. So eventually Yvonne may be getting some of those books.
Not a word. I'm gonna clarify something. Even though the contract that I sent you, because yours was one of the first contracts that got sent out, my authors keep 100% of their royalties. I don't take anything.
Okay.
Because it's their money. What I do is wait till it builds up. I'm not going to send them a $10 royalty in a month because PayPal's going to take $3 of it. So it builds up. But they do give 100% of their royalties.
Are your books print on demand?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, where are you getting them printed and distribution
Amazon.
wise? Oh, so
Amazon.
Amazon's print on demand.
Amazon does
Yeah,
everything. What Amazon does is if Sheri calls me up and says, Yvonne, I need 4 or 5 books. Okay, do you want them in hardback? Do you want them in paperback? How many of each do you want? What my authors pay is what it costs to print the book plus shipping and taxes where applicable. Of course, Uncle Sam's going to get his cut, but they buy as many, or as if they want 1 book, it's the same price as if they want 12. And Amazon does all the printing, they do all the distribution, they do all the shipping.
And for the price that I gave of my book on National Garden Bureau, I had Yvonne drop ship that. So it didn't have to come to me and then be sent back out. She just sent it directly. So, which was really nice.
Yeah, because you don't want double shipping. And it's easy for me it's easy. When Sheri came to me and said, Yvonne, will you ship this book to so and so? Sure, no problem. Watch this. So I ordered the book and we sent it drop shipped it to the right address, and boom, it went.
And
go ahead, baby.
Having her create the reels and things for me, and she's always putting promotion up, not just me, but all the authors she has. That has been really, really nice because I can just say, hey, can you send that to me? And she sends the reel via email, and then I can just save it and post it on all my socials too.
So the public gets your book by going to Amazon to buy it off Amazon, but does it go in the bookstores like Barnes and Noble?
Okay. Let me explain something about Barnes and Noble. It does not go in the bookstores like Barnes and Noble. And the reason for that, have you been in Barnes and Noble?
Always.
I mean, there's thousands of books in Barnes and Noble. I used to go in Barnes and Noble and just stay for hours and still not find everything. Barnes and Noble can be overwhelming. I love Barnes and Noble, but I have seen best-selling books sit on the shelf because they get lost in all of the books. So we sell on Amazon, and we do very well on Amazon. People have gotten to where they'd rather sit at home and order anyway. But no, we do not put them in Barnes and Noble. It's strictly on Amazon, and it's strictly if Sheri wants to buy books and sell them at a show or at where she's speaking. That's where the sales come from.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I do. I have mine in small independent bookstores. I buy the books myself, and then most small independent bookstores have some kind of commission. You can rent a shelf space or whatever it is that their particular store does. And you can get them in small bookstores. And a lot of these small bookstores, like the one I'm in, they're going to set up author readings. They're going to set up all kinds of events to help push those books that are on their shelves, which is going to increase your visibility.
Right.
And again, you're the brand. You have to remember that you are the brand. A book can sit in a bookstore for months and not move. Let the author go in there and do a book signing and the book will move. But if it sits there and doesn't sell, what's the point of it sitting on a shelf? To me, it makes more sense to have it convenient for the customer. There's 4 million books on Amazon. But if the customer is looking for a particular book because you, the author, is out there promoting it, and let's just say Susie Q needs to know how to grow, I don't know, a cocoa plant. And I say that because cocoa is now in my vocabulary. Didn't even know what a cocoa plant was until Sheri's book. But they want to know how to grow a cocoa plant. Well, if they look up cocoa plant gardening, Sheri's book's going to pop up because of the way that I have marketed it on the internet. And they're going to know to go to Amazon to order it. They don't have to leave their house. What if they got babies, or what if they got a sick spouse, or they can't get out? They can order it and boom, it's there. And I don't have to worry about it. I'm all about convenience. Any more questions? I know I've overwhelmed y'all and I'm so sorry, but I'm so passionate about this.
Well, I'm still not clear on what you would do for somebody like me who completely self-published. I wrote up, used my own photographs, laid it out in InDesign, contracted with a local printer to have it printed, and I get them 100 at a time. And we, because it's for senior citizens, I've kept the price low. The first book is $14.95. The second book is $19.99, and we sell a combo on our website, $30 for both, savings of almost $5.
So your books are not up on Amazon at all?
No.
Okay.
Because there's no meat on the bone for them.
So what we could do is, do you have a social media page of any kind?
Sure, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn.
Okay. I can create some shorts for you, send them to you through email, or if you friend me on Facebook, when I put them up on Facebook, I tag you in them. I can also send them to you in an email, and then you can put them up on LinkedIn and Instagram. Now, do you have your LinkedIn and your Instagram linked to your Facebook page?
No, I don't.
Do that, because that helps people find you. Now, I have another question. When you order 100 books at a time, Dwayne, how many of those books have you sold, let's say in 6 months? Have you sold all 100?
Well, we're kind of, we sold over the years about 300 of the first book and 200 of the second book. So we're on the fourth reorder of the first book, and we're about to order some more of the second book.
So let me ask you this. Are you getting a return on your investment in ordering those books?
I am, but not as fast as I'd like to. Um, and maybe the subject, I don't know, or maybe me, but after a garden club talk, for example, where I'm selling the books, if I get 3 or 4 uh, sales from a garden club, I'm I'm lucky. And I thought I was going to get a windfall um, when I spoke to the Master Gardeners Association, and I think I sold 4 or 5 books.
Dwayne, I want to say something.
Okay,
I spoke at a Master Gardener conference as well.
well, that's me, right?
I
In August.
completely sold out of every single book that I took, and I had my husband come home, and the books that I had rights to, he put on CDs and came back because there was such a demand for the books. So possibly because you self-published and the books are not out there on the internet a lot. Um, so you this is Yvonne's thing, so I don't know if you could still self-publish and also put your books up on Amazon, but the internet is a huge place. And I think when people see the books rising in the ranks on Amazon like they do, versus self-publishing where it's not on the internet and they can't see those numbers and where you can get reviews online, I think that might really, really be a push that you need.
I'm going to tell you a story, Dwayne. One of my authors, she went the route you went, where she went to a printer and had her books printed. And she was buying them like you were. You know, you get a break when you buy so many. And I had lunch with her one day and I said, why? I said, send me your books because I can get them up there. I can market them. Well, during Christmas, her books were going crazy. Her children's books were going crazy. Her adult books were going crazy because the push was there for the silly season. And we just kept pushing and pushing. Doing every day, I did a short and put it up there. Every day, something else goes up for my authors. If you would be willing to allow us to take your books and put them out there for you, I would be honored. I would be very honored.
What is Amazon's commission?
Amazon only charges for what they print. In other words, if your book costs $2.30 to print,
I wish.
They don't get much more than that, because what I do, I'm the one that sets the commissions up for my authors. And I tell Amazon, I want my authors to get 70%. So Amazon gets 30. Think of it this way. You're thinking commissions, but you're spending your commission money buying from a third-party printer. And you're not sold enough to really make it an asset. You gotta think outside of the box. You gotta understand that, yeah, you get 100% commission when you sell a book, but what does it cost you in time, effort, and money to get that book printed, to take it to the printer or email it to the printer? Then you have to go pick the books up. Then they sit in your closet over a period of time. Every day a book doesn't sell is a sale lost. So when they're sitting in your closet, they're not selling. They're sitting there.
So Amazon wouldn't sell the books that I have sitting here in my office.
Not unless you used a third-party distributor to do that.
Oh.
In other words, you would have to go hire somebody to be your distributor, and they would put it up as a third-party seller.
Okay.
That would be more money out of your pocket.
Yep.
And that's not fair to you. I'm not asking for any commitments tonight. I'm just giving you guys information. That's what I was asked to do. But you have a voice.
And just in terms of, again, trying to figure out where are book talks at libraries or garden clubs, what, there's only so many talks you can give. And Sheri Ann, I'd love to hear your experience, and anybody else who's done book talks. Where do you get the most where do you find you get the most traction? I mean, there's so many places you can speak, botanic gardens, I just don't even know where to emphasize.
I can talk to that a little bit.
Right.
So I think probably this group should also have, maybe Sheri Ann put this down for a future topic of how to sell your book at live events. Maybe we can certainly use a whole hour, if not more, just to explore that. But just summing it up really quickly, I give during the seasons, spring and fall here for me in the DC area, probably 2 to 3 talks a week, a lot to local garden clubs, a lot to local public gardens. If it's on Zoom, I'm sending them to an Amazon link. Am I selling that many? I don't know. There should be a little bump in sale, right? But it's better if I'm there in person and I can sign and sell, and sign it for somebody and that's more valuable to them. And of course, as our guest was saying, they're buying because it's you, because they just saw you talk. They might not even crack open the book later. They want something a piece from that experience, right?
Exactly.
So they want a piece of you, that experience. They want something to remind them of the talk. So they're buying it, I think, almost more for that, and to support you, which is nice too. But book sales are hard. I think we all know, and that's why we have this book marketing group. Book sales are getting harder and harder. I take heart that I have a 21-year-old niece who's staying with me while she goes to University of Maryland, and she is in library sciences, and reads like a book a day. So the young people are reading, the old people are reading, the in between is not reading. But
and also to your giving talks, my suggestion is whatever book events are going on, whether it's gardening or not, whether it is a book signing event within a 150-mile radius, sign up for it. Will it cost you? Yeah, it will cost you for a table. It'll cost you for gas. It'll cost you for whatever books that you want to purchase to sell, but only take 5 books. Only take 5. Don't take a whole boatload of books. Just take 5 books, 10 at the most. And always have either bookmarks or a business card, because even if they don't buy a book, give them a card, give them a bookmark, give them something that they know that they have met you.
Yeah. Okay, here is some of my advice. When I was asked to speak on chocolate at the New York Botanical Gardens, they were insistent that they were going to buy my books. I could not bring my own copies of my books. They were going to buy them, and they would set up that I could do a signing of the books afterwards. So some places are going to insist on buying books and not letting you bring your own. Another option is when you go to a book signing event, I no longer put books on CDs because, as some of you know, Jerry passed away and I don't have the skills to do what he did. So I have a few CDs left that he made, and when they're gone, they're gone. Um, I take all of my books because my experience has been when I go do an event, whether it's a speaking event at Master Gardeners, Garden Club, libraries, senior centers. I've been asked to speak at the Y to teach young teen mothers how to grow gardens. All the different places I've gone, I take all of my books. But also, in today's day and age, take a QR code that goes straight to your Amazon book page so that if they are standing there and they want to buy a book, but oh, they want the Amazon price because maybe it's a little cheaper or whatever, they have that. Another tip, I always take a card reader. I use PayPal. So I take my PayPal point of sale card reader with me so that I can take debit and credit cards. That has made me so many extra book sales because they always come up and say, oh, I didn't bring cash. Oh, wait, I can take your credit or debit card. How many books would you like? The other thing that I do, I have all the different books that I have. I don't just work on, say, Chocolate Lover's Garden, even if it's chocolate presentation. I have my other books with me because 9 times out of 10, if they're going to buy one book, they're going to buy more than one book. So that's what I do. And I will not give a presentation without being allowed to sell my books afterwards because some places will say no. And I say that it's not a deal. You know, I'm going to be paid for doing the presentation. I'm going to have the opportunity to sell my books afterwards. And I also sell small theobroma cacao trees if I have those, if it's for my chocolate presentation specifically.
But Sheri, what if they're saying, no, you can't sell your book, but what if you give your presentation and you give everybody a postcard with the QR code to the Amazon link? Would they let you do that?
Some will, but I just don't do those. I turn those flat down. Because in the area that I live in, a lot of the garden clubs and stuff don't want to pay, or if they do want to pay, they want to pay just mileage, which is, you know, we're talking the $50 to $75 range. My chocolate presentation off the top cost me around $150 in materials because I have to order the pods in from my friend in Puerto Rico because we're in a cold climate. Sometimes that is overnight shipping, which is very expensive. I give out all the supplies for everybody to take home a cacao seed and be able to start it because I want everybody to have that opportunity. Plus, I have handouts and other things that I give. So this is sort of my way of saying, okay, I'm going over and above what you are paying, so I need to make some of this money back.
When they ask me how much or what my fee is, I give them a fee if I can sell you my books and double it if I can't.
I tell them 150 an hour and they kind of look at me. So, but I am also a master gardener. And so I have to do so many hours a year in volunteer work. And for that, I can accept gas money, but that is the extent of what I can accept.
Well, next month I'm giving one to a library, a senior citizen group, and it's in the library, and they won't let me sell books.
Wow.
So,
But for that, then can you get a postcard or something like that, or a bookmark and put the QR code on it?
I have business cards that I take, and I also tell them that if they really want to save the shipping from going on my website, I just happen to have a bag of them out in the car.
Good idea.
There's ways around everything, but
Yeah.
it's like Sheri was saying, understand your worth because your time, your effort Your participation in their event is worth something. Your craft is worth something. And I applaud Sheri because she draws the line in the sand and says, if you don't appreciate my craft, then you're not worth my time. And you have to hold that line. And you don't be afraid to say no, because they will respect you more for saying no.
Yes.
Maybe not at that point.
This library didn't flinch at paying me double the fee.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And something that I do a lot, if I sense hesitation, I will say, well, I've been invited to speak at the New York Botanical Gardens. I have gone all the way down to Key West and spoke at the Tropical Fruit Fiesta. I have been all over the United States giving my programs, and
accept.
Yeah, you can pay it, you can accept my terms, or you can find somebody else. And 9 times out of 10, they turn around what they're saying and they're like, oh yes, you can sell your books.
Well, you're probably the only person who can talk about chocolate like that from personal experience. You are the subject matter expert.
She is. I want to tell you, when I was putting that book together for her, number one, I didn't even know about the cocoa plant. Number two, what I learned is when the Spanish went to the Mayan to Mexico, to North, South America, wherever they went, South America, they were looking for gold. What they didn't understand is the gold was the cocoa pod, because that's what they used for coinage. So the way that I market her book, it's a gardening book, it's a pastry book, it's a cookbook, it's a history book, it's an event planning book. It's good for children, it's good for teenagers, it's good for adults, it's good for senior citizens. It might even be good for your pet if he could read. And that's how.
So it's just like Hanukkah, huh?
You're right.
Gold wrapped
Exactly.
chocolate.
Right. And that's how we market that book, because it's not in just one little box. There's so many things in that book. And that's what people see. Oh, in fact, another one of my authors bought that book and is still reading it. She ain't got through it yet, and she's loving it. Carol
Sheri,
Gallivan's.
do you introduce your programs with everybody? I bet everybody here is a chocolate expert. They eat it all every day.
No, I actually introduced my program with talking about the history of chocolate and talking about, I really, I have to be careful with my wording now, but a lot of chocolate production is slave labor, for a lack of another way to put it. The workers are underpaid. Chocolate cannot be grown in full sun. Chocolate is in such high demand that they are trying to move the cacao tree into full sun to push production. It is killing it. So we have this wonderful plant that has been here through history, that everybody loves chocolate. And because the demand is so high, we have children that are harvesting these pods, basically slaves that are way underpaid. And then we have the flip side of the coin. We have the people like me that, and there's a lot of them in Hawaii, that are growing the cacao themselves. They are harvesting it themselves. They are learning to create their own chocolate. This was a huge movement in 2020. And you really need to think about where your chocolate is sourced from. Because are you going to support the big chocolate manufacturers that are contributing to this problem of slave labor and unethical sourcing? or are you going to support the smaller farmer that is doing things the right way? And of course, cacao, like everything else, one time the price is high, one time the price is really low, but it doesn't really change these slaves, for lack of a better word, that are working at super cheap wages to produce this. So I really try to push the history and the ethical side of chocolate. And what a lot of people don't realize, and I know a lot of people won't do this, but I've got the plant to produce flowers here in Indiana in my living room. Now, I was at the Garden Writer Conference in Chicago, so I was not home to hand pollinate that plant. And eventually, I will be able to grow my own pods here. I mean, at the Botanical Garden in Chicago, they've had pods. Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, they all get pods on their trees. So it is possible to do that on a very small scale here. But places like Hawaii, I know of some Theobroma cacao trees down in Florida that people have had for years. So in some parts of the United States, it is possible to grow it outdoors.
And because Florida is a subtropical state, it is easier to grow it, especially further south you go, like
Yes.
Key West and Miami and Homestead, because it very rarely gets cold.
Are there
Except
commercial
when-
growers in Florida?
I have a friend in Fort Lauderdale that I sent one of my plants to, and she grew it. That was, 1999, 2000. I sent her the plant, and she still has it alive in her garden. So now, whether she's had to do any kind of protection of this, I do not know, but it is still alive, and it's a huge tree now.
I'm gonna jump in just because we're going overtime, Sheri Ann.
Okay.
And just say thank you to our guest and gave us a lot to think about. And we should probably remind everybody when the next meeting is and what the topic is.
Kathy, before you do that, well,
Mhm.
can we get our guest's contact information?
Yeah.
I-
Do you want to
I will
post it in
get-
the chat?
Yeah, get Sheri to post it.
Okay.
And my door is always open. Whatever you guys need, information, advice, a shoulder, somebody to yell at, I'm always here for y'all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yvonne, what is your email, please?
It's
know this.
you would ask me that, right? It's
I would
Yvonne
ask you that.
Mason, Yvonne Mason 84 at Yahoo.
Okay. And I am only capitalizing this on her name so that I can make sense of it in here. But you can also reach out to me too. If you need her contact information. So thank you, Yvonne, for coming on tonight.
You're welcome, my dear.
Kathy, the next meeting is March 4th at 7 p.m., right?
Yep, I think that's correct.
Okay.
The first Wednesday of March at 7.
Okay.
I'm still stuck on Monday. Yeah.
Okay. And do we have a topic, or do we want to do the how to sell your book at live events?
Yeah, let's do this. I think that's a very much of interest for everybody, and I have lots of different examples. I know Christy for sure has lots of experience there too.
Where?
At live events, like in-person events,
Oh.
conferences, festivals. I will say, I'm just giving my 2 cents and say that book festivals are like, I sell best to gardeners, like,
And
directly to them. Mhm.
include the how, I can't remember the name of the thing that you use when people want to pay with a credit card.
Yeah, so it's a point of purchase. So
Right.
it could be I
Yeah, I
think
just
Sheri
use
Ann,
Square. It's,
yeah. I
you
was gonna
know,
say a lot of people use Square, a lot of people use Venmo or I forgot the other one.
Hey, Chef.
Uh yeah.
Yeah.
But like Sheri Ann, I have
The PayPal.
the PayPal point of purchase, which was called Zettle, and
Yes.
now they changed it to like Zettle, like Settle. They just changed the name and the app for that. But if you have a PayPal already account, that's the easiest way to do it because that does accept Venmo, Apple Pay, every credit card, and
Yes.
it's pretty
and
easy. Like literally, somebody could just put their phone up to my phone and then boop, the money's there
yeah,
if they
and
have Apple Pay.
I have
Yeah.
to say with Square, I used to have a little thing that plugs in or the
Hmm.
pad that you hit, but they've upgraded it so you just pass the card across the back of your phone, it
Yeah.
goes boom, and it's done.
Yeah,
It's
it's
amazing.
also the scary part, Christy,
I know.
because
I
you
know.
could literally go up to somebody's wallet and just brush by their card. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
just everybody beware to have like a RFD card in their wallet because anybody with this app could pull money off a card.
Put them in these and then it
Yep.
won't happen.
Yes.
Christy, do you use Square?
I use Square. Yeah, it's an app on the phone, and once it's open, you can load in your products and put the pricing and the tax and everything. And then when people come up, you just boop 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 and total it, and then pass the card on it, and then they sign it, and you can send them a receipt. It's really easy.
I got rid of Square because we had a problem when Jerry went in the hospital with his cancer. We had a shipment of laptops coming in, multiple laptops that someone had ordered. And I was at the hospital with him and not contacting customers
Mm.
because we knew he was dying. And the person that ordered the laptops filed a complaint, and Square gave them every bit of the money back that they had paid him,
Mm.
including his labor fees for working on their computers. And I fought for 2 years with Square on that.
Bummer.
And I did finally get his labor back, but it was just such a nightmare that I said no. So, any other last minute questions before we close the meeting?
Mm.
Okay, well, thank you so much again, Yvonne. I did have AI transcribe this. I did record this. So I will figure out what to do with it all and get it to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Yvonne.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for giving me this opportunity, and hopefully I've given you some useful information. And again, my door is always open. If you need help in any way, please reach out because
Thank you.
it doesn't cost you anything but your time.
Thank
Sheri
you.
will tell you.
Thanks.
All right,
You're
thank
welcome.
Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
week,
Bye.
everyone.
you.